Welcome back, 3D students. In this video, we're going to begin to build the control objects for our character. And we're going to start by building the control objects for the hands and the feet. Now, these are sometimes called control curves because the objects we're going to use are shapes or curves in some programs. So let's get started. Let's go to the top viewport. And in the top viewport, we're going to start with a rectangle. We're going to go to splines here, and we're going to create a rectangle. And let's create a rectangle on this foot that sort of encompasses these two helpers that we created right here. And then let's go to the Modify tab, and we're going to go back to the perspective view. And let's open up this rendering rollout here and enable in viewport, not renderer, because we don't want these to render. And we don't want geometry that's unnecessary here, so let's change the number of sides to the minimum, which is 3. And let's change the thickness to, well, I guess 1 is fine. Now we can edit this by converting it into an editable spline. So let's right-click and convert it to an editable spline. And then we can adjust by segment by clicking one of these segments here. And we can get the move tool, and then we can move this in and out. We can also adjust. In fact, I'm going to do that to the front one here. I want to line it up a little better with the crosshair of that controller. I'll do the same thing with this one. And we can also do that by vertex if we wanted to sort of, make that sort of foot shaped, but that should not be a curve. Actually, let's go to vertex mode and select all of those vertices and turn them into corners. And then we could take this and we could give that kind of a foot shape if we wanted to, but we don't need to do that for these. All right, so while we're in here, let's give this a blue color that is similar to the leg here. And let's name this CC for control curve, R, foot. And then what we need to do is snap the pivot point to the joint here. It needs to have, the pivot point can't be here, it needs to be up here. So let's go to the Hierarchy tab, select Effect Pivot Only, and hit Shift A, and Shift A align that pivot point to that bone there. And now let's copy this. So let's use the mirror tool. And I'm going to make it a copy. Then I'm going to click OK. And then I'm going to move that copy over here. And to position it perfectly, I'm going to Shift A, align it to this bone. And then we're going to change the color. And I can actually use my custom colors. If I click right here and click Add Custom Color, I can use the eyedropper to sample that bone color there, and then click Add Color. And now I have a green color that's about the same as this bone. And then let's change the name. And then we need to freeze their transforms. So select both of them. Alt right click, freeze transforms, click OK. And then what we need to do is link these foot controllers here to each control curve. And let's make sure that we're facing the right direction here. So this is the foot controller that we need to link the foot controller to the control objects, or the control curves. So select the link tool, select the correct foot controller, and link it to the control object, and do the same with this one. Just make sure you're linking the point control foot and not the toe. and then we can test them out. So let's pick it up and move it, and let's rotate it as well. Do the same thing with the other one. Okay, now let's very quickly make these for the hands. It's the exact same process. So let's go to the front viewport, go to the Create tab, get a rectangle, and draw a rectangle that sort of encompasses the hand. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then let's rename this CC R hand. And then let's go to the Hierarchy tab, Effect Pivot Only, and Shift A align it to the hand and turn Effect Pivot Only off. And then let's copy, change the color, and Shift A align it to the other hand. And then we can reposition the control object by clicking Effect Object Only and moving that object out. And then we can change the name and link the hand control point control to the hand control object. Do the same thing over here. And then we also need to link this point control, the arm one, we need to link that one as well. So they should both be linked. And then let's do the same to the other arm. And then let's get the Move tool. Let's select both of these and Alt right click and freeze the transforms. And then let's test them out. Get the Rotate tool. The hand should rotate freely. And let's do the other one. I think I renamed these. I think I named these incorrectly. This is actually the left, and this one is the right. Okay, so now we have the controls for the hand and the feet. And when we come back, we will create controls for the head and maybe a couple of other parts of the body. And I'll see you then.